All right, video cut out there. But we're just going to take our rounded pick again. Just walking around, right? Because we're not trying to get anything on these sharp edges to rip this O-ring. Just walking around. All right, now we're all up on that edge. Pull it down. On this edge, you can use your fingernail, whatever you want to use to just work that down in there. All right. So now our inside seal is done. Our wiper seal, our lip seal, and our pressure seal are all done. Now we got to do this. So you can see this is our piece that goes here. And then we had an extra O-ring. I'm going to show you where that extra O-ring goes because you don't see where it goes yet. But when you go to take this apart, this is where that hook piece comes in nice. You get it in there, give it a little bit of a push and work it around. Boom. Oh, this one just broke. Well, that's good. So that's that one. Now, if you look at the bottom underneath there, that's where that other O-ring's heading at. So that's where you need a pick with a hook to get down in there and pull it up. Now, if you notice, this has got a chamfer here. So you're going to pull it to that side because that's less of a jump than the other side. So what I do is I just go like this, using my thumb to hold it in place, pull it around, and then get her to pop off. All right. So now we set that down. Take that O-ring. Check that groove real good. Make sure it ain't damaged at all. Lube the O-ring again. Set it down on here, like so. Now, O-ring is going to stretch a little bit. You won't need your hook, but this, you're going to need your hook. So I just dipped that in there. So I had oil in my hand. I oil this real good, and you're going to notice it's perfectly the right size. So what you're going to need to do is get it to start on there. Don't use your hook to poke into it, but get your hook up on it. And it's going to be tight. So you just got to work it around. And then once you get some of it on there, work it back and forth until you get a piece of it starting in that groove. Once you get it started in that groove, like so, you're going to get your thumb, hold it down in that groove, and just walk it around with your hook like that. And it's going to be a little bit enlarged. You see how it's poking out there? And what you're going to do is you're just going to literally work it a little bit in your hands to get it to shrink down. Now, as that sets with no tension on it, it's going to slowly shrink down and back in there. Okay? So the order it came off is what we got to remember. Okay? So wiper seals, everything that's in here came off first. So we're going to make sure it's lubed up a little bit. Grab some of your waste oil, lube it, lube this area especially, because this is where it's going to have all the tension on that ridge. You take your blue side with your dots pointing up towards there. You're just going to ease it on. And we're just going to it's just literally, because there's a chamfer at the end of the shaft, just going to put pressure on it, pulling back, and rotate this on there. All right, so that's on now. Then we got our spacer, okay? So I'm going to lube it up, making sure that we got no gunk on it. If you feel any sediment, actually I feel a little bit on there. We're going to wipe her down again. Still feel a little bit of whatever was on there. So there we go. All right, nothing. All right, and that's got a little bit of play in there, so you don't have to worry about it being well lubed because you've got lube on that shaft. It's somewhat clean, or mostly clean, or shit, you could do it dirty and just let the filter take it out, but you're risking that new rebuild you just did. So now, if you remember, this came off with that notch piece towards the top because it's got a bevel on that end right there that matches that O-ring. The other side is square. It's squared off flush, and actually has marks from where the nut has been taken off. Slide that up against there. It's up against the O-ring. Now we take our new nut that's right here, and my doctor told me not to use my teeth, so I'm not going to use my teeth this time, though I did last time. I'm just going to take a socket and pop the plastic open. And still not wanting to come, so I'll just use my pick to rip the plastic a little bit more. Come on. There we go. All right, so these nuts come with a letter or a chamfer on them. So where did my old nut go? If you notice, the old nut has a taper at the top, so that you know that it goes this direction on there. These newer ones don't have any chamfer or any sign of anything. So if you'll notice, usually there's a stamp on the top. The stamp goes towards the top. So the stamp's on this side, facing towards you. Once you get to a certain point, all right. Now, I'm sure somewhere in the specs on the tech manuals that I don't read, for the nerds that write it up, that I probably hang out with, because though I'm a grungy, dirty mechanic, I'm kind of a nerd too. But nonetheless, I'll call him a nerd. I don't mind. So you're probably supposed to torque this to specific foot-pounds. I use the electric impact, like so. Till she don't go no more. Up on her. Now, she's done. Now we just gotta go put it back together. So, let's do one more step before we put it back together. Because of how much dirt and grime and grease and nasty shit was inside of this, I want to go clean the inside of that ram out and check them threads. So, let's go. Anyways, so I know it's a little bit longer of a video than I usually do, but I hope this is kind of helping you guys out. So, because of all that dirt and grime and grit and yuckiness inside of there, you got like 5 options. 1, you can get a bore cleaning kit with that size. I guess they're kind of sort of like a hone, but they have like scrubbers on the ends. Or you could get like a cleaning brush or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of a redneck, so what I do is I take a piece of rag, and then I find me a stick that'll fit in there, and then I jam it up in there a couple of dozen times and try and get what I can out. It's the best I got. It's all I do. Not a crazy hard thing, but give me a second. I'm going to clean this out, and then we'll put it back together. Okay.